How's it going, everybody? Marvel the Cross 316 back with another comic book flashback, and today we are looking at Tales to Astonish, issue number 66. This issue was released in January of 1965, and the cover date is April of 1965. And we are continuing this series here with the history of the Incredible Hulk as we continue to look at issues of Tales to Astonish, and we're going to pick up where we left off the last issue in 65, where Bruce Banner has been relocated to across the Iron Curtain. He is now in the Soviet Union, and he was held hostage, and he has broken loose as the Hulk, and now the Hulk is on a rampage here, and this scientist has healed the Hulk of his wounds here as he had been attacked by these Reds here. And so now we're going to continue this story. So don't click away. We got an exciting tale here brought to you by the great Stan Lee, who wrote this issue. We have Steve Ditko on the artwork, Vince Coletta on the inking, and Art Simek on the lettering page. So let's go ahead now and continue here. We're looking at the power of Dr. Banner here. Well, last issue, like I said, this European scientist here was able to bound up the wounds of the Hulk here, but unfortunately for this man here, there is this general here with this vaporizer ray, and he is going to be aiming it towards the Hulk here, but we see with such heroism here, this scientist jumps in the way and takes the full brunt of this deadly proton beam here, and unfortunately for this scientist, he is going to pass away, and it just enrages the Hulk to the point because now he knows that this was his friend, one of his only friends that the Hulk has ever made, and it just makes the Hulk even madder. And so now he's going to be on the trail here, tracking down this murderer here. The Hulk is on the loose, and we have some great action scenes drawn by the great Steve Ditko here. And I mean, this is a really good treat for y'all. I'm glad that y'all are tuning in to this. We have some great stuff to look at here in this short story. You see the Hulk is on a rampage. He is just on the rage, but at some point, you know that the Hulk has to transition back to his civilian identity as Bruce Banner. And unfortunately for the Hulk, this is what's going to happen. He notices the change, and as all of this rubble and all of the ground-breaking thunderous stomps begin to weaken here, the general's like, what is going on here? Well, we see that Bruce Banner has collapsed to the ground, and all these tanks, of course, are going after the Hulk. Meanwhile, across the Atlantic, on the other side of the Atlantic, in the United States, we're going to see tragically that the American troops here now consider Bruce Banner a threat of security to America, because they believe that one of their top atomic scientists, Bruce Banner, has now turned his allegiance to the Reds. And this is what Major Talbot is going to relay to General Thunderbolt Ross here. And we see right here in the thought bubble, it says, that's why I really wanted this mission. They'll never believe he's a traitor unless I bring them proof. And most of all, I must convince Betty Ross of his guilt in order to win her love. So we see here the motives of Major Talbot here. And one of those reasons is he has a huge crush on Betty Ross. Well, Betty Ross has feelings for Bruce Banner, and she's just so in love with Bruce Banner, and so, taken aback by what's going on, that she's so naive that she doesn't want to believe that it is possible that the man that she really loves has turned traitor, that he's now working for the Reds that he was a spy this entire time. Thunderbolt Ross, as well as Major Talbot, is going to, unfortunately, as we see in this issue, convince Betty Ross that yes, it seems to be true. Bruce Banner was in fact this entire time a spy for the communists, and Thunderbolt Ross is going to tell Major Talbot just how glad of a friend that he is. He's so glad that Major Talbot has been there trying to convince Thunderbolt Ross this entire time that Bruce Banner was an enemy to America. Well, we're going to now change scenes here. We see that the leader, as he made his appearance 2 issues ago, is still on the hunt for the Hulk. He believes that if he can track down the Hulk and capture the Hulk will become a formidable ally to the leader. If you don't know much about the leader was also affected by a gamma explosion. Instead of giving him extraordinary strength and power like the Hulk, these gamma rays gave the leader extreme intellect. And he is one of the most brilliant minds that we have ever come across on the earth. Even more brilliant than Reed Richards. And unfortunately for the leader, he was unable to capture the Hulk last issue, but we're going to soon find out as he goes into contact with one of his partners here, which is the Chameleon. The Chameleon works for the leader. The Chameleon is going to tell the leader here that yes, Bruce Banner has been missing and he is reported behind the Iron Curtain, and the leader is so smart enough to make a connection here that wherever the Hulk is, Bruce Banner is not too far away. There has to be a link between the Hulk and Bruce Banner. So he gets in contact with one of these communists, one of these general communists here, and he tells them, he asks about Bruce Banner, but he also says, I shall find the Hulk as well when I come over there. And this shocks this guy because, of course, the Hulk has been making a rampage across these countries, these communist countries. And he says, wait, do not break contact. I must find out how you arrogant dog. Nobody else would dare to treat me so. Someday he shall go too far. With his super brilliant brain, he could be more of a threat to us than an army. And so now we see that there's a change of course of action here. The leader is going to, as we see in the next issue, he's going to travel to this communist regime country of the Soviet Union to track down the Hulk. But we'll look more into that next issue. Right now we got to go back and see what's going on with Bruce Banner. Well, these planes are on the search for the Hulk, and they have now contacted Bruce Banner, and they're going to be firing at Bruce Banner. Bruce Banner notices the limp, dead body of this scientist. He's like, I've noticed him before, his face, he looks familiar. And then the Hulk subconscious alerts Bruce Banner of who this scientist really is. The anger starts to well up inside of Bruce Banner, and as we see, he's going to transition back to the Hulk. The Hulk notices these planes are trying to attack him, and so the Hulk is going to leap up in the air and make mince work out of these 2 planes. They are easily brought down and destroyed, and now we are going to see the Hulk coming across these big artillery tanks, but we'll have to see exactly what happens in the next issue. This is where we're going to leave off here in issue number 66. What is going to happen next issue, as the Hulk will be fighting against more tanks and artillery, as well as we're going to find out what the leader has in store for the Hulk as he makes his way across the Iron Curtain. We will find all this out coming up next in issue number 67. But before then, now go ahead and drop a like on this video. Subscribe if you have not. Comment down below. What are your predictions as to what's going to happen next? I would love to see what you think. And as always, I will see y'all in the next one.